What style wedding video do you need? We're gonna help you figure that out.
So there are all types of brides out there who want a wedding video. Understandably. You know, you may be one that has been watching videos for a very long time and knows exactly what they're going for. Or if you're like 90% of the newly engaged brides, you've watched a few and there are a lot of different routes that this could be taken. A few things that right away are really going to help your videography team understand how to best encapsulate your vision are music. Think about what music you like, what might be a no-go, basic things like that, moments that are very important to you that you know you need to watch. And as far as the styles that we're going to be talking about, the best place to start with that is adjectives. You've watched movies. You know the ones you like, you know the ones you don't like, and you know who you're marrying and you know who you are.
Do you feel more romantic? Do you feel more funny? Do you feel more candid? Do you feel
Nostalgic is
more
a big
nostalgic? Like, there are a lot of different directions, a lot of different particular feelings that, without knowing it, you may be expecting to feel when you watch your wedding video, but your videography team might not know that because there are so many different ways you might want to feel.
For example, if you are a girl who maybe has a few sisters or had a few close friends growing up and you loved, romantic comedies or just romance in general, and when you imagine your wedding video, it's just the two of you. Like, you are just thinking about those romantic moments when you say I do, the first kiss, all of those moments. You might be a girl who's leaning more toward an intimate wedding video, something that has an air of cinematic to it. It's very intimate. This might have a voiceover. We often find those go well alongside this type of video. You're hearing your love declared for each other and you are watching your love being declared for each other. So if that is something that, resonates with you, romantic and intimate might be words to kind of throw their way and say, hey, I know the two of us and our romance and our story are going to be very important for me to see when I relive this.
And on the flip side, you might be the type of bride that you're like, listen, we have been together for like
Years.
15 years. We've basically been married. Now it's just official. I just want to see the party. I want to see the fun.
Just
I want to
the fun
see
memories in general.
I want to see the laughter. I want to see the dancing. I want to see
speeches.
everything that isn't perfect. That's what I want to see. I want to hear some audio that's going on in the room when people are like teasing each other or like feeling nerves right before the ceremony. If you want that, you definitely should communicate that to your videography team, because that looks like a totally different video than what Mary just described.
Yeah, 100%. It's imagine the difference between like The Proposal and Pride and Prejudice. When you watch
Totally different.
100%, and the adjectives are going to match that. Some adjectives to kind of throw at your videographer would be, I'm looking for a happy wedding video, a fun wedding video, a wedding video that is just focused on the laughs and the memories. And again, all of this is completely achievable. It's just finding the right words to ensure you're gonna get what you are, whether you know it or not, looking forward to and expecting the way that you are imagining it.
And then I would say another kind of really common one that we run into is this kind of dramatic sort of wedding video. It's very cinematic. I love it for sure. It can have kind of a moody vibe to it where you have a lot of piano and it feels kind of Game of Thrones, if Game of Thrones were like a wedding video somehow.
Yes.
Where you have a lot of B-roll of your beautiful venue. You have a lot of lead up. You have a lot of feelings when you watch it. There's a lot of close-up shots, little fly on the wall kind of perspectives. And in general, you don't necessarily have the feeling like, oh, like this is us. Like, it's almost like, oh, this is us. You know what I mean? Like, it's a different sort of reaction when you get to watch it. But if you know that your love is kind of felt like that, where maybe it's been a roller coaster and deep, and you guys have been through some things.
You know this is a big moment, and you're recognizing it.
Right. You want to take a step back and have a moment of serious drama to kind of celebrate, but in a different way. Then you might want to throw some adjectives like dramatic, crescendo, peaks.
This is a great spot to throw in some instruments you like too.
Right.
You know, this isn't a folksy vibe.
No,
it is like, you might want to say, you know, I like piano, I like cello, I
want
violin.
some intensity.
And this is personally one of our favorite styles because paired with something like a romantic, like if you say, I'm looking for something romantic and dramatic, I mean, that's going to be a wedding video that you're kind of okay if you walk away teary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In a very good, heartfelt way. And it really gives your videography your videography team, a little bit of room to get creative, get some incredible shots. You might see them taking the drone up. You might see them pulling their gimbals out and just really getting in there to make you your own little movie, for lack of a better word. The next style that I wanted to talk about is a very popular one, and oftentimes we see this kind of brought up and paired alongside a different one. And this is just for the person that loves everything we've mentioned so far. They're into all of it, but they know that seeing their family and seeing the people participating in the day is extremely important to them. This is just somebody that might be looking for something a little bit more nostalgic, a little bit more warm. Slow down the drama and romance a little bit and look at the people that love you.
Yes.
This is something that you're just gonna wanna bring up to your videography team because I often find the people that this is important to, it's very important to. And I would just say this is a very nostalgic type of wedding video.
It has a very like generational type feel where you're taking a pause on some of the romance and drama that is between you two, and you're taking a moment to recognize that, you know, your parents are responsible for why you exist, and their parents. So if you have grandparents that are kind of older, or maybe even great-grandparents if you're fortunate enough, and you want to see their faces because you know you're not going to have them forever.
The family inclusive style of wedding video is very common, and it is a huge priority for almost everybody. But make sure you are communicating that, hey, and now you have the words to do that even better.
So one other thing that really contributes to the feel of the video, regardless of all the adjectives and everything that we've talked about,
factual,
is it chronological or does it not really follow a timeline? Because both are good. We like both. But they will convey a completely different feeling. So the chronological video is going to be the one that you see opening with the classic getting ready scenes that you want to see the dress going on the venue shots. It's setting you up for what exactly is happening in the day.
Easing into the day,
and
step by step.
Yes, and then it'll typically go to whatever happens next. If you have a first look.
And we love this. We love it.
Because
great for keepsake.
Oh yes, because when you watch this chronological video over, even though creatively speaking, you know, it's just what happened, basically.
In a very cinematic way.
Right. But when you go back and watch it, you are going to kind of feel it all over again because it's happening in the way you remember it. Now, that is very different from one that timeline jumps a lot. Now, it's not necessarily, it's not necessarily a bad thing, timeline jumping. It just will convey a different feeling. You might see it open with the reception. You might see it open with speeches or dancing.
You might see clips of the reception during the vows and the ceremony, which we've done before. And we love it.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. But again, you didn't have that happen, you know, during your ceremony. So
not quantifiably possible.
Yeah, if that's not what you're looking for and you know it as you're listening to this, you're like, don't want that. that is something that you should convey. Or if you're like, no, like I know I want to see my day kind of spread out through the video.
The word montage might kind of connect with you in this, where you're like, hey, I'm looking to just see the highlights, the big moments, the memories that I cannot lose, and I don't particularly care what order this is displayed in. You're the expert, you choose. We've heard that, we've done it, we love it, but it is something to be aware of, and you should probably kind of figure out what way you lean. We have also heard brides who are totally cool with a mix of both, and that's probably our favorite way to go about it. It's just a little bit of flexibility, because every day requires different things. The word unique is really what we've built our entire style off of. So that kind of leads me into one of our closing statements is, if you watched this and you felt like you were pretty attracted to a lot of what we said, that's great. You don't need to settle into one style or two styles or any specific thing. What you do need to do is just figure out what adjectives you know you like, and just maybe a few you didn't like. Don't box yourself in, just get more refined.